Bro.
Oh, my gosh.
That is none other than a future NBA lottery pick. We don't need to go into who that is. Welcome back, TalkBall Tweakers. We took a little bit off. Much more importantly, the Oklahoma City Thunder are the NBA champions for 2025, taking down the Indiana Pacers in 7 games. Props to Indiana. Welcome back, TalkBall Tweakers, episode 24, 25, something like
23.
that. 23. All right. Oh, we're in our Jordan episode, and we're off to a
Braun episode, actually. Braun episode.
Joined by my co-host, Toussaint Fancher, Blake McQuarrie, as always. How we feeling?
I feel so great being back in the studio.
Back at it, you know what I'm saying? Back at these. Okay.
You got some of that crack. Oh, no, I feel good, though. I feel good, locked in. I'm ready to be locked back in, so had a little cool little break.
Yes, sir.
Graduation break, by the way. That's why we were...
walked the stage.
Fake graduation.
We had a lot of stuff going on. Fake graduation.
Yeah,
graduation.
Yeah, exactly.
Something to say. But yeah, feels good to be back. I'm so ready to talk ball.
Yeah.
Talk everything.
I
got a lot of NBA today.
A lot of NBA.
Lot
to cover.
A lot of good news.
So much to cover.
I mean, the only NFL news is Aaron Rodgers hiding a secret wife, and I don't believe that's real.
And we got a Manti Te'o situation.
Well, he did say that it's going to be his final season, which we kind of already... I feel like everybody...
I think the Manti Te'o situation's more interesting.
We could do that segment really fast. He's done after this year. The Steelers aren't winning the Super Bowl. All right, cool. You guys ready?
I was going to say, we kind of covered that last episode.
You guys ready?
I'm letting the right off.
You're welcome.
I'm ready.
All right, guys. Finals. Let's do it. Let's
talk ball.
All right. The Oklahoma City Thunder win their first ever NBA championship since moving to Oklahoma City. You got to go back to the Seattle Supersonics in 1979, I'm pretty sure. First ever professional sports championship for Oklahoma City. I guess one of the main takeaways from the series and just the Thunder's dominant season.
You said main takeaway from that series?
Yeah, you take it anywhere, yeah.
Tyrese Halliburton, I guess.
What the hell?
That was main takeaway all the playoffs is the run that he had, a tremendous run. I think a lot of people kind of not overrate him, but overrate the run a little bit. I think even if Pacers would have won, I think Pascal would have got Finals MVP.
I agree with that.
Yeah. But I mean, still though, Tyrese was the X factor for that team. Obviously, that was the glue, and you've seen it in Game 7 when he went down. Prayers also to him.
Yeah, that was for real.
I want to say that real quick. That was so sad to see. Right when it happened,
2019,
exactly. Right when it happened, I knew it was a torn Achilles. I mean, you've seen the pop on the replay. Right when they replayed it, and then you could kind of just see his emotion when he went down, pounding the floor. He knew it was over. I mean, he knew he tore his Achilles. That was just devastating to see. I mean, that was a Game 7 that we were all gearing up for, that we were excited to watch go down to the wire, because it would have went down to the wire.
Yeah, he was going to put up a playoff performance.
And then
he started hot.
What was it, 7 minutes in, I think?
7 minutes in, 3 threes.
Pops.
Yeah.
And 3 threes. He was talking his shit.
He was cooking.
He was so locked in. He was
about to have a generational game.
He was not scared of that moment at all. And so that is just what's so devastating about it is, I mean, we had a classic Game 7 geared up for us, and it got ruined because of a stupid injury. So, but yeah, I think that was just the main takeaway was Tyrese Halliburton right there. And you've seen that the impact in Game 7 when he went down, that it was over from there. Yeah,
I mean, in the same postseason, you lose 3 guys all wearing the number 0 to an Achilles injury, and Jason Tatum, Damian
Dark
Lillard,
magic.
and Halliburton. Yeah, it sucks.
Pascal Siakam.
Yeah, that was insane.
That was crazy.
Achilles injuries suck. No matter what side you're on. I was at Aaron Rodgers' torn Achilles, and that was the most hopeful I've ever felt for the Jets. A little bar right now. I feel like we could talk about Halliburton and the Pacers all we want. They had a great run. One of the most unpredictable playoff runs in NBA history. I mean, Halliburton hit a ridiculous shot in every series.
Yeah.
I don't want that to take away from what the Oklahoma City Thunder did. I see a bunch of stuff about a Mickey Mouse ring because Ja got hurt.
Everybody wants to call
Everyone
these
wants to
rings
call it
nowadays.
that.
Everybody gets
The Thunder were the best team in the league this season. They lost 6 games at home all year. They had 68 wins, largest point differential in NBA history. If Halliburton plays that game, I think we get more of a classic. I still think the Thunder win that game.
Yep.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander joins like Wilt, Magic, and Kareem to win scoring title, MVP, and Finals MVP in the same year. The Thunder were the best team. I just think it was going to happen. Again, like, I'm not throwing shade at the Pacers because that was an incredible run, and taking the Thunder to 7 is an achievement on itself. But yeah, I just think you got to look more at the Thunder winning. But then again, Haliburton getting hurt is a huge story. But OKC, they're gross, and I won't spoil our segment for later, but I don't know how you don't consider them the favorite going into next year.
The thing that I took away from the series the most was defense. And a lot of time, the last couple of years, you've been seeing like good defense. Obviously, Celtics had really good defense, and the Nuggets had an okay defense. When they won, but this year it was like defensive oriented because you look at Indy. Indy is like the most like it's not the power of friendship, but they're like the
controlled chaos.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they're the face of team basketball. Like, you don't have a superstar that's going to go out there and get you 40 every night. They don't have like an all-timer yet where it's like, oh, yeah, you can rely on him to give you, those buckets when you need it. And obviously, Haliburton can do it when he summons it, but it's not all the time. Siakam got it in the flow, but Siakam averaged like 20 throughout this series, so it wasn't like, and he never had like a crazy game. So it was like the whole team produced. You had Obi Toppin playing better than he had ever played. You had TJ McConnell in Game 7 for like 6 minutes looking like he was going to win the game single-handedly.
Yeah, TJ McConnell had a ridiculous series.
So it's like, and then you look at OKC, if Shea isn't going lights out, if J-Dub isn't going lights out, they're playing really good defense. You got Lou Dort who's playing good defense. Listen,
Where was Lou Dort?
I think in his ass. Yeah. Yo, listen, sometimes I don't like Lou Dort because he can be kind of a hack, but I gotta admit he's one of the best on-ball defenders in the league. Yeah. You got Cassandre Wallace, you got Aaron Wiggins, their
Alex
bench.
Caruso,
right. Their bench is so long. They can go, 10 players deep, and you got Isaiah Joe giving you good minutes. You can get the Asian Duke Dennis, the other Jalen Williams, giving you really good minutes. So it's just one really, really large depth in terms of bench, because if you don't have a superstar or maybe you don't have enough star power, you go get a long bench like the Pacers or like OKC, and then you play from there. And so I think a lot of teams now are going to start developing the bench down the stretch. Because remember, this is what happened to Denver. They didn't have a bench, and so they were trying to find where that depth was coming from, and they overplayed Jokic, and that's why they lost. I mean, obviously OKC won it because they're better, but they had their problems. But the main thing is defense to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I also want to point out like Cason Wallace and Caruso in that Game 7, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
The way that Cason Wallace was guarding TJ McConnell right after he came up from half court, I mean, they just trapped the hell out of him every single time. And it caused many turnovers. I mean, Indiana turned the ball over
had him in hell.
Total of...
They had 8 turnovers in the third quarter alone,
8 turnovers in the third quarter, which gave OKC 18 points. They scored 18 points off those 8 turnovers. And then they had a total of 23 turnovers, which Thunder turned into 32 points. Yeah. You're not going to win a Game 7 doing that. But it speaks to their defense, and it speaks to, I think, a lot of those turnovers came from Cason Wallace and Caruso, and their brilliance on defense, and the way that Cason Wallace was guarding McConnell. Because he knew right when McConnell came off of that half court, like right when he gets from half court, you trap the hell out of him, and McConnell's done.
And they don't have another playmaker.
I think McConnell gave that ball up 3-4 times when they trapped him in that corner.
Because he's their second best playmaker, and so if you trap him and no one else is coming up,
that offense is absolutely clogged. So that was one thing that stood out to me the most in that Game 7 was the brilliance of Cason Wallace and Caruso on defense, doing those traps.
I also got to give my props to Andrew Nembhard, because Andrew Nembhard give you the meanest tween right into your face
when you watching him, dude. Stank face when you watching him.
I know. I also got to give love to Benedict Mathurin. I know he had that one game where he had like 27 and 22 minutes.
No, Benedict Mathurin deserves his flowers.
Or he had 24
in the Game 7.
Yeah, 24 and 13 in Game 7.
Bro. He's disgusting going back to college.
Yeah. And I mean, he had that potential coming into the league too, if you remember.
He just got hurt.
Yeah,
he just got hurt.
He was nasty at Arizona.
I think he'll be a starter next year, especially because Halliburton's not healthy.
Yeah.
Halliburton, I don't think he's a superstar. He had his moments. He had one of the most incredible postseason runs we've ever seen. But he's clearly the thing that made that Pacers team go. You saw how discombobulated they are. I mean, even if it happened to an absolute scrub tearing your Achilles, it's really hard. There's obviously a mental aspect no matter what the sport is.
Right.
Halliburton's the thing that makes them go because he's the primary ball handler. He averaged around 7 assists a game. You take him out, Siakam's going to get Lou Dort in his ass. Nesmith can no longer shoot the ball. Nembhard had a fine game, but with Halliburton, you have Siakam, who was getting guarded by the Thunder's second best defender, and he's still Pascal Siakam, one of the best one-on-one players in the league. Then you have Nesmith, who can make anything. You have Miles Turner making stuff, Nembhard, and you're deep. And so you lose Halliburton, and then it just all goes downhill from there.
And I also want to bring up, I'm glad you brought up Pascal, too. What the hell was Carlisle doing? Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Barely played Pascal when it really mattered.
I didn't.
And they were building the comeback there. And
I guess he probably felt like with the rotation they had TJ McConnell going off. He didn't want to disrupt it. Maybe that was his thought process. I don't understand
that.
No, it doesn't make any sense why you
have a guy who is so experienced on your the most experienced guy on your team in terms of championships and winning. Because he won in Toronto with Kawhi.
Exactly.
And your Eastern Conference Finals MVP and gonna be your Finals MVP if you win that game.
Yeah.
And you're not playing them when it really matters. I didn't understand that at all.
It did not make sense. And also, like, they spent a bunch of time during the finals. I mean, Mark Dagnall said it, that Pascal's one of the best defenders in the league.
Yeah.
Like, he was giving the Thunder problems on both ends of the floor, even though his scoring wasn't fine, and then they take him out. It's weird. And then, like, I understand if you're saying because we're a deep team and they could play deep, but you're playing the Thunder, who have 10 guys, 12 guys who could all do that and stuff. And, like, the thing I was going to say, you know how Joel Embiid for the past 10 years has been saying, like, trust the process?
Yeah.
The Thunder were the process. I think the Thunder were the definition of the process. I think if they weren't in Oklahoma City, if you switched them in Philly, the process worked. You trade 3 all-world players, 3 all-world first-ballot Hall of Famers, and Westbrook, KD, and Harden. I guess you didn't trade KD, but KD left. And you suck for a few years. And you bring in Melo and Paul George, and you still sort of suck. I mean, Dame hit that shot that Paul George calls a bad shot. Thank you, Dame, because then they trade Paul George for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's now one of the best players in the league, Finals MVP. You in that trade, you get a pick for Jalen Williams. You get a pick for other guys. You like Chet Holmgren. You sign Isaiah Hartenstein. The Thunder, 12 deep, guys that could come off like Caruso, Cason Wallace, Aaron Wiggins. Kendrick Williams was getting minutes. Nikola Topic didn't play at all this season. He's going to be a rotation player for them last year. They are a team that's 11 deep, and they are like a potential dynasty. That's the fucking process.
Exactly.
That is the process because, like, what's their flaw? They literally have no flaw unless Shai and Jalen Williams just can't score, and that's not going to happen most of the time. And they also, every player on the Thunder gives it on every side of the court. It's not like Luka. It's not like Giannis. It's not like Halliburton sometimes. Those superstars buy in and they play defense. Yeah, I just think that's the process. And the process worked. And Jay Williams said this the other day, that Sam Presti should be considered with the Bob Myers and those guys. I wouldn't say that yet. I still think they need to win one more, but I think he's the best GM in the sport right now, and it's not even close. And I think he should get much more flowers than he deserves right now.
Absolutely. Shout out to Sam Presti. I think that's a good transition into the outlook of the Oklahoma City Thunder.
He has so many draft picks.
They are they are 100% are set up for a dynasty right now.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen that since the Golden State Warriors in 2015. Like, we have not seen a team best set up for a dynasty since Golden State in 2015.
What makes them so dangerous is not only the fact that they have the draft picks, but they can trade those draft picks for good. Some of these players are going to leave. Caruso might get traded because if you look at his, Caruso's cap hit in the next couple of years was like $20 million. They might trade him. They might, other players might leave for bigger contracts.
100%.
So even if when they're drafting, they can just say, hey,
the issue is, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do. They have to pay Shai, which is going to be an outrageous contract.
He's going to make $280 million.
He's going to make. I think probably the most money we've seen in NBA history. Yeah, it's going to be a Jaylen Brown type of contract.
It's going to be bigger than that.
Probably like $72 million a year. I'd say.
Something like that.
So they have to pay him. They have to pay Chet, and they have to pay J-Dub. Yeah. So that's the issue. Is you're gonna lose either Caruso or Dort. One of those you're going to lose 100%.
This year, you think they're going to lose him?
I don't know if it's going to be this summer or next summer, but I think both of them are signed until next summer.
Yeah, they could wait a year because J-Dub's under, you can't extend him yet.
Yeah. They're probably going, it depends on what Dort's contract is. Caruso, like I said, his cap hit is at $20 million.
Yeah.
Also, I think even if you lose, maybe not Lou Dort, because Lou Dort's one of the best on-ball defenders in the league, and we've been saying that a while, but Caruso, if you lose him, I mean, fine. Caruso had a great season. The Thunder have shown that you could plug and play anybody with that core of Shea, J-Dub, Chet, and anybody else, and they become a really good team. I mean, Aaron Wiggins, Kaysen Wallace, Kendrick Williams, these guys weren't playing meaningful minutes anywhere else, and they come in and they are meaningful.
Absolutely, and I come to say all of that. At the end of the day, though, it's not going to matter. Because they have 2 first-round picks in this draft on Wednesday. They're picking 15th.
Go get Ace Bailey because he's going to slip so much.
They have multiple draft picks over the next 5, 6, 7 years. Losing these role players, it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
They're just going to reload. It reminds me of San Antonio. That San Antonio legacy dynasty we seen in the early 2000s.
You could call it a dynasty.
It stretched. It pretty much stretched all the way until 2014 when the last championship they won with Kawhi.
Yeah.
Those role players were completely different than they were in 2006, 2007.
Check this out. They have the 15th and 24th pick. And this mock draft I'm looking at, they said Thomas Sorber and Liam McNeely. You add a 6'10" freshman who's uber athletic and Liam McNeely, who is one of the best freshmen.
One of the best scorers in the sport.
One of the best shooters.
So the team that just won the championship, you're only going to get better. And like you said, Topic is coming back.
Topic is coming back. Literally, I think the Thunder are going to stay put, and I think it's going to be every other team in the West, like the Warriors trying to get a big, like Steve Kerr said. The Lakers obviously need a big because the Mark Williams thing went through. What's going to happen with Jokic? He needs another guy. Ant needs another guy. And all of these guys are going to be going so hard in free agency. The Spurs probably going to take Dillon. They're going to load up, maybe get one more piece.
Yeah.
The Thunder, they're just going to be on vacation because they know no matter what a team does,
they're reloading.
They're the best team.
They're reloading. Who cares if you lose some of these role? Like it's not. You're not going to lose 5 role guys. You're going to lose 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Who cares? You're going to reload with the draft picks.
And the fact is,
they are in the I think they are in the best position we have ever seen a team in NBA history.
I fully agree with that.
Agree.
Absolutely.
There's not one contract on this team too that you could go, that's a bad contract. Like Caruso's cap hit, of course, it's a lot. They won a ring, and he was important for that, and that's enough.
It'll be bad down the stretch.
Right, exactly, and they'll get rid of him by then.
My question also, if you were Shea, would you take a pay cut?
Hell no.
You wouldn't?
Hell no.
I mean, only
I just won the scoring title in the MVP. You can get rid of some of them. They're expendable.
My thing is, though, even if he takes a pay cut, he's still going to be making an insane amount of money.
Yeah, I think
it's true, but
I might take that pay cut if I'm Shea.
Contract.
No, it is, and that's why I'm like, I don't know. That's why it's a
Brunson's first real one too, and he took like 113.
It's a very,
but that was a little different because he needed pieces. He needed pieces.
Yeah, that's true.
He has Sam Presti.
No, it is true. I just think it makes you think a little bit. It makes me think a little bit because if I was in that position, I'd be like,
wait a minute.
I'm not gonna lie, I want to run this back.
If someone tells me, take a little less money, we can give it to J-Dub and Chet and get a little bit more. It depends on how much the pay cut is. If it goes from $70 million to $60 million, I'll take that pay cut.
I think there's some discussions to be had.
Yeah, but if they're asking me, only take $30 million a year, I'm like, no, I just want the MVP.
No, it's not gonna. No, it's not gonna be that though.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
It really depends on what the pay cut is.
So like I think max he is. I think 70 to 75 million a year.
Yeah,
I would take 60.
A pay cut would be like 60.
I would do that.
Like 60.
I would do that.
I would do that.
I think he would if they asked.
I think so. I would 100%.
Because the thing is, he's gonna get another contract. It's not like he's gonna be like, oh well, we don't want you anymore in the next contract. No, they're gonna sign him again. Yeah, they're gonna sign him again.
That's what I'm saying.
I would take.
I think he's gonna be a Thunder for life.
Yeah. No, I don't think. I don't think he's ever. I think he's locked in.
No, he just won their first championship.
Yeah, he's locked in. So that's what it makes you think. I'm not. If I was Shea.
But also, I'm looking at
I also trust Sam Presti though. At the end of the day,
I'm also looking at it like, okay, we got a really good developmental phase.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
so
I trust the process.
It's like if I don't take the pay cut, then we're just gonna get a Lou Dort 2.0 out there undrafted.
They could pay Shea as much as he wants, and they could still sign J-Dub and Chet to contracts they want too. Like that's not.
Yeah. They could go get somebody from OKC Blue and win the championship again. They could go get a bench full of the G League.
They absolutely could.
Yeah. No, I just think there's a discussion to be had there.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting.
And I think, I honestly, if I had to predict right now, I think he will because he's just like a good guy. And
that's what I'm saying. Like, you listen to people talk about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they are like, he's the best teammate. I heard Calipari talking about him on Pat McAfee's show a couple of days. I think it was like a day before Game 7.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's just like when you talk about like Russell, he actually compared him to Derrick Rose.
I heard that.
There hasn't been a teammate of Derrick Rose who said he's a bad teammate.
Yeah. I don't think anybody hates Derrick Rose.
No. And so he compared him to that and was like, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a great teammate. Like, no one is going to say a bad word about him.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, you look at the type of guy he is, I wouldn't be surprised if he took a pay cut.
I mean, plus he has a shoe deal and commercials. Like, he doesn't need an extra $10 million.
He's like,
I want to get his shoes. Yeah, I want to get those.
Them bitches are fire.
I want to get them.
Them motherfuckers are so hard.
They're gonna be like $500, but I want them.
Converse are fire. Them gold ones too.
He single-handedly might put Converse back in the basketball conversation.
Them cold ones, boy.
He's single-handedly putting Converse back in the basketball. Because Converse used to be back.
He has the deals to be able to take a pay cut.
Yeah.
Converse was literally Nike when Bill Russell was playing, and now he's about to put him back on the map.
No, for real. And he's the Canadian global ambassador. The guy's a ridiculous businessman, and the Thunder are going to be the favorites in the West next year.
Oh, they should definitely be the favorites. I mean, this is not like the Celtics where it's like, because we looked at the Celtics and we were like, well, I guess there's nobody else, and they just won it. And then, or like Denver, where it was like, oh, Denver's going to rattle off a few. Yeah. It's like this team only going to get older. They're going to get more experience. They're going to get better. They're going to have better players. Dagnall's going to get smarter. Presti's going to have more to do. It's like they're only going to get better.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I think the Pacers are much different of a discussion. Oh,
I was just going to say, but I am hesitant to say they're going to rattle off like 3 of the next 4 because I say this and things happen. Like, I know that they're set up perfectly, but let's say Shai just meets. What if Ant all of a sudden takes it to a new level and then jumps them by himself?
No, I think the NBA is such a versatile league, and I think we've seen it. There hasn't been a repeat champion since 2018, right? Yeah. I think that it's going to speak more to what other teams do to beat the Thunder. I mean, the Thunder are the mountaintop right now, but like if the Lakers get a Mark Williams or trade for a Sabonis or I was going to say Gaffer, but there's no way LA and
they just
Dallas,
signed him.
Yeah,
Gaffer
exactly.
just re-signed.
And I was going to say there's no way LA and Dallas ever make a trade again. Like the Lakers with LeBron and Luka and a big, they could contend maybe, but like right now,
the Lakers are going to spend.
Yeah, they're
just got a new owner.
But like the Thunder are the Thunder, and they're going to be the one until someone proves them otherwise. Like,
no, you're right. It's not about it was like what can Boston do? What can Denver do? It's not what can the Thunder do. It's what can everyone else do to overtake the Thunder.
Exactly. I think the Thunder should just drink and enjoy vacation. Like I genuinely think
that's what we're doing right
now. If they can get the bottles open,
the parade's happening right now, and I think they could enjoy themselves.
I think they're very drunk right now, actually. Very drunk.
And they should be. And I think Sam Presti should literally go like this. I'm not logging on until the draft's tomorrow. After the draft, I'm not logging on.
I would say draft's tomorrow, buddy. He's got to lock in.
The draft's tomorrow.
He has to lock in a little bit.
He's like, just draft whoever.
No, he's got to lock in.
He could do that, and they'd still be the best team in the league. They
could draft me, and they'd still be the best.
They could take fucking Jace Howard and some Wisconsin walk-on, and they'd still be the best team in the league.
Yeah, no, that is true.
And then, like, Sam Presti could show up to the draft off a freaking bean, draft 2 middle schoolers from the Brooklyn Park, and they'd still be the best team in the league.
Facts. You're not wrong.
Yeah, the Pacers are much more of a different discussion because, like, our last episode, we said they were going to be the favorites in the East going into last year. Not anymore because Halliburton's out the entire year.
Yeah.
And so what's their thing?
Damn, things change quickly.
So yeah, that's a good transition to Pacers outlook.
Things change quickly, man.
You know what I'd love?
Because, last episode we were just talking about
we said I guess they're the favorites in the East.
They're the favorites in the East right now.
Not anymore.
They're not.
You know what I love, and it's not going to happen, and it's such a reach. I want to see the Spurs trade De'Aaron Fox to Indy. Fox is on a 1-year contract. The Spurs are going to take Harper.
but if you're Indiana, though, if you're Indiana, are you going to do that? And why would San Antonio... Ultimately, why would San Antonio do that? Because then it's like...
Who would they want even?
You have to get a good haul for that.
You would have to get a good haul.
And San Antonio doesn't need...
They don't need that much, but imagine if it was like... I don't think the Pacers would do it again.
Maybe? Like, is it just going to be a
picks and either maybe Neesmith because the Spurs need another shooter.
Toppin Neesmith.
And then like that could work, especially because I don't know if the Spurs are going to extend Fox. It's because they're going to pay Wemby. Castle's going to get paid down the road. If Dillon's going there, Dillon should be the primary guy because Fox is getting older. I'm just giving like something. I mean, the Pacers, they're going to get a guard because now they don't have Halliburton. And
I mean, who could it be?
Like,
that is interesting.
Who could it be?
On this mock draft,
if the Pacers, do you call for Bradley Beal? Like, probably not because they don't need another shooter or ball handler.
For $50 million? No.
Booker?
No, because absolutely Indiana wouldn't do that.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
They would have to trade half their franchise for Booker.
Yeah, they're managed too well, right?
They would have to trade half their franchise.
I'm just trying to throw out any possibility.
Indiana has.
They can't trade anybody.
They don't like paying the tax.
Yeah, no.
And there's nobody that they can really.
They've stayed away from that luxury tax. I think they paid tax since 2005.
I have one that again not going to happen, but it would be a cool fit, like LaMelo. But then again, like if Halliburton's coming back, you don't go and get LaMelo.
Too big of a star.
Too big of a star. So you need a stopgap because the Pacers are going to return virtually everyone next year, but they need someone to make that team go. So like. I guess we can't give a real. Do they trade up and go get a point guard?
I mean, they might just have to take the gap year, bro.
They might
and see what happens.
They totally
because they're gonna have to if they want to re-sign Miles Turner, they're gonna have to probably pay the tax.
Yeah.
They're already paying the tax. If
they're going to have to take that whole sacrifice. He knew that going into Game 7, the whole year was
actually, now that I think about it, I say if they don't re-sign Miles, I think they do try and go get somebody for the gap year.
I think they will.
But you do want to re-sign Miles.
I also think
if you're Indiana.
For the Pacers, this playoff run was great for them.
Yeah.
The East is only going to get better. And I don't think you could rely on this chaos for more playoff runs. I think they need to become like this team that takes the Thunder to 7 like they showed they could be. And then next year, again, you're not going to have Halliburton, but 2 years down the road when Brunson's reaching the end of his prime and the Knicks might look different. The Celtics get Tatum back. Yeah. Who knows if the Bucks have Giannis. The Pistons in 2 years are going to be an absolute juggernaut. The Magic are only going to get better. If you're the Pacers, you got to get a little better because you can't go, we're going to come back by 7 points in the last minute of the playoffs again and again and again. They need something else. They're a very good team.
That run was a one-time
They just traded away their first-round draft pick this year.
They did.
They only have the 54th pick.
Yeah,
so
they just traded
they're going to have to take that. They're going to have to take that L this year because there's nothing they can do.
You've seen teams do it. The Nets did it.
I think I would do it. I mean, Halliburton's just out for a year. Yeah. I think
because you're going to sell half your team for what? And then Halliburton comes back and half your team is gutted, and then it's Halliburton and whoever you traded for.
Yeah, and then it doesn't work.
And let's say they don't want to. And let's say they don't want to sign with Indy, then you just gutted your team for what?
Exactly.
For nothing.
More years. I think it's similar to what you're seeing with Phoenix, and we'll get to that. Like Phoenix didn't have to deal with the injuries, especially an Achilles injury. Like they got KD post everything, but they were banking on Booker and Beal coming back and being like really good. They sold away half their team. It doesn't work, and now they're inept.
They're actually very lucky because Pascal, Nembhard, McConnell, they're all signed through 2027.
Yeah, they're there.
Season.
How much?
And Neesmith signed through 2027.
Yeah.
So they're actually very lucky that they're not, because like think about it, if they could be in this gap year and then all those contracts could be up next summer.
What they're gonna have to do,
that would suck.
They're gonna have to find a project. What I think they should do is find a project with that 54th pick and work.
That's a risk though. Like
it is. Find a project.
But what else are you gonna do?
You have to do a history.
Anybody at the 54th is gonna be a project.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like where Bronny got drafted.
I guess that's true.
I mean, they'll pick someone and he'll sit on the bench. I think
this one has Kobe Sanders.
If I had to predict right now, I don't think they do anything, and I think they just slide Mathurin in there, and I think they make Nembhard the primary ball handler because he's a great backup point guard.
I wouldn't do anything.
I wouldn't do anything either. Now I'm thinking about it. Fox would be cool.
It would be fun.
But why would you? Why would you do that?
It's fun to think about. But like,
what they should do is sign a bunch of bench players for 1 year and see how it goes to see as a tryout. So then when Halliburton comes back, they're like, oh, we like you. 3-year deal, 2-year deal.
Yeah. And I don't even know what else to say about the Pacers. I think just the West is so much better than the East. And the East, you're starting to see teams get better. And I think that's a good way to segment into the trades that have happened. And I guess we could start with Desmond Bane to the Magic because we're talking about the East. Yeah, it's a good move. Again, I don't know if the Magic are a favorite in the East, but they could be a trendy pick. They're fun. They're really fun.
They're fun.
Like,
They're fun.
Yeah, they need more scoring.
They're the fourth best team in my opinion. Because you got the Knicks,
the Cavs,
Pistons, and then I go Magic. Just based off the fact that they're a young team and they just got Bane, we don't know.
That's fair.
So they could be better than the Pistons, but I had the Pistons before just because of what I've seen from the
No,
Pistons.
that's completely valid. I really like the fit because Bane's a guy that could do it on both ends of the floor. The Magic were one of the best defensive teams in the league last year.
Absolutely.
And you don't need Desmond Bane to be a second scorer, which is sort of what he was in Memphis when Ja Morant wasn't there, right?
The thing that I saw, a stat that really popped out to me, they said that the Magic were 35% on catch and shoot.
Yes.
He was 51% for Memphis this year, Bane was. So he's adding catch and shoot, which is what you need. Pure scoring, assist, because
the Magic were all ISOs last year.
Exactly.
All ISOs.
So if you get team basketball and you get him on the wing or in the corner, he's going to hit those threes.
Yeah.
He's going to hit those jump shots.
Yeah, I think I like the fit. Absolutely.
Just 5 firsts is so crazy.
Yeah, that's
5 firsts is insane. I think that was like my biggest takeaway of this trade is like, look at Memphis now. They have 5 first-round picks in the next. What is it?
They're going to sign Triple
J.
J.
They also get more money to go make a new
They now
gym.
get an extra first-round pick every year.
They're going to make a new gym, too.
You got to make some windows in that.
You got to get some windows in that. Desmond Bane just exposed.
Or were they hooping they were hooping in a dungeon,
I know.
dog.
Yeah, dude.
Bro, it's Memphis.
A bulletproof dungeon.
Yeah.
That's what they were hooping
You got
in.
windows to go see bullets.
They were hooping in
They
the
literally,
back
no,
cave.
it's because they didn't want any windows for Ja to look out and go. Oh, Jesus, I'm terrible. No, I agree. Memphis was good. Memphis was fine last year. They obviously weren't a contender.
Yeah,
they got
were.
swept by the Thunder. Ja Morant's still a top 25 player in the league.
like they
Jaren Jackson.
You're a team that makes the playoffs, and you still have a good future with Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
And now you have 5 first-round picks over the next 5 years.
It was a good thing to trade.
They're in a very good position now.
Yeah.
I have to get.
And you can use those picks to actually go, if you want to go get a star.
I think the worst thing the Grizzlies did was firing Taylor Jenkins.
Yeah.
That's the part that didn't make sense.
I will have to say I admire how everyone was like, "Oh, Ja's going to go," and everyone thought that GM was going to trade Ja, and he said, "No, we're getting rid of Bane," and he got a haul for Bane. So that now they're set up perfectly, so they can go. They still have Edie. They can go get a couple players. They could, what I mean, and then
What pick do they have?
Scottie Pippen Jr.
What's like their high? They have 16
Scottie
from
Pippen Jr.
Orlando.
reminds me. Scottie Pippen Jr. is like a TJ McConnell.
Yeah, this has them taking McNeely, which is honestly a great substitute for Bane. They're built very different. I mean, McNeely's long, Bane has T-Rex arms, but they do virtually.
And then
the
they
same
get
thing.
back Cole Anthony and Contavious Caldwell Pope as well.
Oh, facts. KCP.
Like KCP.
I don't know if they want a KCP. He's kind of.
They need
Why?
a vet.
Why
They need a
Why not? That's a good
They're-
vet.
I
guess
That's
so.
a good vet for the locker room, and he's a 3-and-D guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
I guess
won
they're not at the-
one of 3 that has 2 championships and.
Yeah.
I know, but he
Since
was not
2020?
good on the Magic.
No, he
pretty
was not,
He was
but-
pretty abysmal on the Magic.
But he also, I
But-
felt like he didn't fit the Magic and stuff.
That's true. They were so young, and he was like, I will say it is good that he's a vet because in that locker room they do need a little bit more maturity. But I don't know if KCP's the guy for maturity. He was hooping with an ankle monitor on the leg.
Dude. Again, him and Ja.
They're about to be in the strip club throwing money and shooting bullets.
I think for the Grizzlies too. Like some people are saying, like you lose the defensive edge in Bane. Once again, I don't know how much I agree with that. And also, no matter what, if they're healthy, you have Jaren Jackson standing down there. You could compromise some defense. I mean, you're going to see the Lakers do it when they bring in a big who could play defense because LeBron and Luka just aren't going to do it. I think in terms of the Magic, I mean, yeah, they could prep for a big playoff run. I agree with you. I still think the Cavs are better and the Knicks are better and the Pistons maybe. And it's to believe it when you see it. We'll get to the draft eventually, but like they need a point guard. I don't think Jalen Suggs should be a starting point guard in this league. He just
he's
hasn't
a
shot
shooting
any good
guard.
scores.
He's a shooting guard in my opinion. He's a 2.
That's fine. Like,
shooting guard?
He's great defensively. But so is everybody else in that starting lineup. Bane could play defense. Banchero plays defense. Wagner plays defense, and the other Wagner if he's healthy.
Man, I like
Wendell
Jalen
Carter.
Suggs.
So do
No, I like him too. I just don't think he's a
I like him much better coming off the bench. My
Coming off
favorite
the
part
bench?
about him is Haley Van Lith, by the way. No, I'm joking. We just need something else. All right, not we. I don't know why I said we, but I think they need something
White
else,
note.
like something I'd like to see. If I'm going crazy, I'd love
Sophie
to see,
Cunningham.
I'd love to see Walter Clayton Jr. there, but then again, they just traded their first, so like I don't know how feasible. But go get someone that could just make that ship run because they have everything they need. Maybe not to be a contender. East is wide open.
But think about it. What if, it's obviously never going to happen. What if Tyrese Halliburton were to play for the Magic? That team is nasty.
That would be the best team.
It's a playmaker with a bunch of shooters and a bunch of defensive players.
Best team in the East. Again, if the Spurs are going to trade Fox, Magic, but then again, they just gave up everything. But that would be cool because it's a guard that could score and facilitate.
It would
and
depend
that's
on
what
how
the Magic
much
need.
they would trade.
And I don't think the Magic need a superstar point guard. I think you could throw in a freaking Mike Conley there, and I think they'd be good. Yeah. I think they'd be a legitimate team to come out of the East. Is he a Jalen Brunson? No. Is he a Darius Garland? No. The Magic, they were literally the power of friendship all year last year. And so, if you're them, they lose to the Celtics in 5, right? But, Paolo, if he takes another jump, it goes up to averaging 32. He was one of the top scorers in this league. He averaged 30. They could be legitimate.
He just needs a legit number 2, and they need someone who can be a better playmaker. Yeah. Franz needs to he's good, but he needs to cement himself as a good number.
I think
2.
It's very similar to the Shane J. Will thing, where I think a lot of people were downing Jalen Williams just because of how new he is, and they're just he is not a number 2 that you could win with. And then people kept saying it until he dropped 40 in Game 5.
Yeah.
And so it's something like that. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Orlando Magic. Let's get to the much bigger trade.
Yeah.
Jrue Holiday. No. We'll talk about that one after. But we've been prolonging it too much. Kevin Durant is a Houston Rocket.
Houston, we have a problem.
And
it's Kevin Durant.
KD goes to the Rockets for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, number 10 overall, five second round picks. Am I missing anything?
No, that's it.
Okay, I'm going to start us off. What the fuck was Phoenix thinking in that return? You see Desmond Bane get traded a little earlier for 5 first-round picks.
Yeah. Well, it's the market. People, that's why I don't understand what's going on.
Is Phoenix trying to give Nico Harrison a run for his money? Because Luka Doncic was one first-round pick, so now KD is, and you got a shooting guard that now has to sit behind Beal and Booker. Yeah. Their coaching isn't good.
Yeah,
Phoenix has just absolutely catapulted their organization. It's probably because Melissa Isaacson was in Phoenix covering for golf. No, I'm joking.
That is crazy.
I don't know how 2 bona fide superstars, one of the best players we've ever seen, and Luka, who might be one of the best 2 players we've ever seen in terms of his career. Yeah,
already
2 of the best players we've ever seen ever didn't get 1 first, but we got Desmond Bane going for 5
first round.
You got Rudy Gobert going for 4 or 5.
I think it's just the age thing. I think that's really.
I think it's an age thing.
I mean, yeah, you got to
for the Suns, not for the Lakers. Luka's 27.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm saying just for Kevin Durant, I think it was just an age. I mean, he's 37. You got to think about it. You're gonna get.
But he's still giving you.
He's still the best scorer on. Check out these, and he'll be the best scorer on Houston too.
Check out these. Since he left, OKC during his time, he was 27 points per game.
Can I read the Brooklyn part?
Yeah, 26 for the Warriors, and for Phoenix, he was averaging 27, 6 on 4 on 52, 42, and 85 shooting splits at 37. That's nasty.
Kyrie Irving and James Harden were out for almost an entire postseason, and they would have won it if KD wore a smaller shoe.
I mean,
that's one of the things I will argue with anyone. The Nets would
KD had a 53-40-91 split in Brooklyn. That's crazy.
KD was up for MVP in 22 the year after.
Plus, he gives Houston what they need. They were looking at Jalen Green. Can you give us at least 20, 25?
Oh yeah,
I can't do it. I can't.
Absolutely.
The moment
Houston
was
got
too bright.
Houston got better. 100%.
Houston got so much better.
I think that a lot of people undermine I've seen a lot of people on Twitter, you look at the starting lineup, you're not scared. I mean, yeah, you're not scared, but at this end of the day, though, they got better, and they were a 2 seed. They were a 52-win 2 seed.
Yeah, and you just got the best scorer of this
Kevin
generation.
Durant. You just replaced Jalen Green with Kevin Durant.
What's their starting 5 right now? Fred VanVleet, experienced veteran, wins rings. You got Alperen Sengun, one of the best bigs in the league. KD, still a premium scorer if he gets healthy.
Then
you have
Thompson,
Jabari Smith.
Players
I'm not going to say they have the bill. I think a lot of people are saying they're not scared of this lineup because they just watched the Thunder for a month.
Yeah.
I mean,
Houston gives OKC a run for their money.
Yeah, right now I think the Rockets are the second best team in the East until another team makes a move.
With KD on that team, they beat Golden State.
If this Indiana team is given OKC Game 7 Houston's damn sure giving.
But think about it. Think about Houston's path this year. They're beating Golden State with KD giving you 20, 30 per game, I think.
No, they beat Golden State 100% if they had KD instead of Jalen Green. Jalen Green didn't do shit in that series.
Bro, I told you, Jalen Green ain't worth nothing.
Except for paying his nails and spend time with his 40-year-old girlfriend. Like, he didn't do shit.
And I think one of the biggest things that we talked about with Houston during the playoffs, like, they didn't have like a stone cold killer. And when you're going up against Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler, there's no way they're gonna pick a Houston team that's that young and doesn't have that guy. Kevin Durant is that fucking guy.
Yeah, they're good. I like them. They're gonna be nice. They're gonna be real
now,
nice.
like as we're speaking, they are the second best team in the East until the Lakers make a move. Did I say East West? Who's the second best team in the West right now? I can't say it's the Lakers after they got bounced by Minnesota and don't have a big right now.
I still take Minnesota over them because they went to 2 straight Western Conference.
But they lost in 5 this year.
That's true.
Thunder.
But you were talking about second best.
That's true.
I would take Minnesota.
Okay, are we talking overall? Or are we talking in a 7-game series?
I'm talking about in a. I guess let's go 7-game series. Yeah, let's go 7-game series.
I'm still gonna take Minnesota then. In a 7-game series, I am.
I don't know. It's close.
Because every year
I'm gonna take Oklahoma City. I'm still gonna take Oklahoma City. I'm still gonna take Minnesota in a 7-game series.
Again,
now we have a real discussion after that. And
Lakers,
I will
Lakers
agree
you
that
can have a discussion.
I would agree that Houston is third.
This might be because I'm not as.
I will agree.
Yeah, this might be because I'm not as high on the Timberwolves. I'm just not until they do something else. I thought their missing piece was Kevin Durant.
I don't know how you can be though.
They shot like 20% from behind the arc and they turned over the ball so much in the Western Conference Finals. They got by a Lakers team that didn't have a big, and then who'd they beat in round 2? The Warriors when Steph got hurt.
That is true.
I mean, like, I thought their missing piece was Kevin Durant, and by the way, that trade package was just better.
Yeah, but
KD obviously didn't.
But we're saying that, but we also have to take into account. If we're saying that, we also have to take into account that the year prior they went into the Nuggets stadium in Game 7 and took the heart out of them.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, totally. But they had better. They had Cat.
That's true, but I think they're better without Cat.
I don't know, dude. I mean, they had a better record.
Better without Cat? I don't know.
They had a better record with Cat, and
because
then
you got to think about it. They went to the same place with Cat, and
that's true.
They
but
played worse,
dude. That's true. But I think I give credit to OKC for that. They because their defense made.
I honestly think if we might be talking about the Timberwolves too much, but I think if the Timberwolves didn't play the Lakers and the Warriors, I think people are really addressing this team because I just don't think they have enough to go over the mountaintop. And besides Game 3 against the Thunder, they got killed. They got destroyed. Like, how do you look at this team that has and if they don't make any changes, you take them over that?
Is Denver better than them?
No, I think if I had to say right now, I'd say the Timberwolves are the 4th best, borderline 5th. I think the Lakers, once they get a big, are better.
Okay, but
I think the Rockets are better.
But you're saying,
but how are you saying that the Rockets are better than Lakers, but you're not going to say Minnesota's better than the Lakers?
Because the Lakers didn't have a big, and LeBron and Luka played like shit in that series. Is anybody taking... I know it just happened. I know the Timberwolves beat the Lakers in 5. The Lakers were playing with Jackson Hayes and Alex Len. If the Lakers are able to get a big that could play 35 minutes and put effort on both sides of the floor, and LeBron and Luka in a full year...
Wait a minute.
I know, but that's an if, though.
It's an if, but the Lakers are
Minnesota, there's no if there.
Yes, there is. There absolutely is an if. They need to do something. They just got wiped the floor by the Thunder. They were
in the Western Conference Finals, though.
Yeah.
After beating the Warriors when Steph Curry wasn't playing and the Lakers who only had 2 players.
I mean, you could say the same thing about Oklahoma City, though.
I can't.
Tyrese doesn't go down. We could be saying about Indiana is an NBA champion.
Cavs have their full squad.
That's a great point. There are so many ifs in this sport, and I'm going on ifs right now. The Timberwolves, they should be respected right now. I just don't consider them the second best team in the West right now. And again, big if. If this Timberwolves team right now played this Rockets team right now with Kevin Durant, I think this Rockets team wins right now because Houston, top 10 in the league in 3-point percentage. The Timberwolves don't shoot threes well. KD and Ant, sure, they cancel off. Ant's better than KD right now, probably. Ant's a fucking bad man. Don't get me wrong. Timberwolves are a better defensive team. Rockets shoot the ball too well, and KD's done it. So, I think it's close.
I don't know.
I think it's close.
I can't get
But also, you're putting. But here's the thing with the Lakers.
I'm going on a lot of ifs right now. I just don't.
I know what you're saying. If the Lakers have a center, they don't have a center, and they don't have them yet, and we don't know who the center is. The center could be somebody that we don't think.
They might even sign a center. They might just say fuck it and go sign somebody else.
They very well.
And Bron is getting a year older. Luka, there's no guarantee that he.
Miles Turner's is
absolutely. They should go get Miles Turner.
If the Lakers get Miles
that should be their number one priority this offseason.
I'm using so many ifs. I'm using so many ifs right now.
Shit in the finals this year. He was shitty.
He averaged double digits.
He did.
Like compared to what Jackson Hayes did in the playoffs.
But like, think about game by game when we're like, Miles Turner, let's get some rebounds, and he's averaged 6 points.
If the Lakers got Miles Turner, or if the Lakers even got Mark Williams, again, I hate using ifs. Do you take them or the Timberwolves right now?
I'm still taking the Timberwolves. Even if they get Mark Williams, I'm still taking the Timberwolves.
Okay.
I think you still have to take Minnesota. You can't take until you see it happen. You can't take them.
LA hasn't been there in 2 years.
I can't say it. I can't say it.
Okay,
I cannot say it. Because I was the same person up here saying that LeBron and Luka are going to beat the Thunder in a 7-game series, and they got absolutely fucking embarrassed by Minnesota.
They might sign somebody, and our decision might change. But I'm saying, like, if you look at Minnesota, Golden State, for example. Golden State's getting older. We don't know if they're going to do anything.
They're going to get a center because Steve Kerr said it. That's pretty much it.
I mean, they throughout their whole dynastic run, they never had a center, and now they need one. It's like, who are they going to get?
Yeah, exactly. They had Draymond playing the 4.
That's what I'm saying.
They had fucking Zaza Pachulia as their.
That's what I'm saying. They had
Andrew Bogut.
But then you got to think about it, though. It's like a prime Steph Curry, though.
It is.
Klay Thompson. And
it is. But the Warriors, I think both the Warriors. I think both the Warriors and the Lakers should stay in the state of California. Give Sacramento a call. We'll give you something for Sabonis, because I think Sabonis makes both those teams top 4 in the West.
Absolutely.
Because Sabonis could do it all, and Sacramento's just not going anywhere.
Absolutely.
But I get the Minnesota thing. I'm just not that high on them, especially now when you see them get wiped the floor from the Thunder.
Yeah.
You see them, like, I use the injuries to say that's how they got there. They still have Anthony Edwards. Who's their number 2 right now? It could be Terrence Shannon Jr. He had a good post.
Well, it's Randall now.
Yeah, I don't know how you look. I don't know if you look at the Timberwolves right now and go, this team could stay put and they could be a legitimate contender. Because making the Western Conference Finals isn't good for them anymore. They made it twice and lost. Like, you can't say that's an achievement. I don't care how good the Thunder are.
Absolutely.
Because you have Anthony Edwards about to enter his prime. Go get someone else.
I think
they absolutely need.
It's yet to be seen. They're probably going to let Nas Reed walk, but it depends on what that.
Walk.
Yeah,
no, they need to let Mike Conley's old ass walk.
Yeah,
that's what they need to do.
That too.
So,
get rid of Conley.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Give Dillingham some play.
It is. We'll see.
Valid.
We'll see. I want to say something real quick about Phoenix on the other side of this trade. I think people are overreacting a little bit with Phoenix. I think they actually got a pretty good haul.
Yeah.
I mean, you get Dylan Brooks. We know who
in a vacuum. He's not.
No. I know. Hear me out though. Hear me out. Real quick.
Breaking news on the podcast, by the way. Sorry, the Pelicans just traded CJ McCollum to the Wizards.
For what?
Oh my goodness!
Then breaking news.
Hella breaking news right there. Yeah, just ended Narnia again.
I'm so sorry. I am apologizing to Blake for interrupting, but from Shams, the New Orleans Pelicans are trading CJ McCollum, Kelly Olynyk, and a future second-round pick to the Washington Wizards for Jordan Poole, Sadiq Bey, and the number 40 pick.
Wait, Jordan Poole got traded?
Jordan Poole got traded.
Okay, now that's news.
Pretty good news.
Jordan Poole to the Orleans. That's the bigger news. Jordan Poole to the Pelicans.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Let me finish real quick.
Zion and Jordan Poole?
No, let me finish real quick. I don't care about Zion and Jordan Poole right now.
We like Jordan Poole.
Real quick. Let me finish real quick.
Finish.
And then we can talk about this.
Yeah.
I just think you're overreacting a little bit because now, hear me out about Dylan Brooks. Okay, yeah. He runs around, talks shit.
Breaking
Nobody
news,
likes
the
him.
Pistons traded Cade Cunningham.
Nobody likes him. It's whatever. But Dylan Brooks is a good, efficient 3-and-D guy in this league. And 3-and-Ds are so valuable in this league. So I think that's a plus right there. Jalen Green. I don't understand the 3 shooting guard lineup. They absolutely need to do something between Beal and Jalen Green. Absolutely.
Cut Beal.
But I think after the reports came out that they were trying to move Jalen Green, and then there was like, no, they're not moving Jalen Green. I don't think they're moving Jalen Green. So I think it is going to be Book and Jalen Green, and you figure it out with Bradley Beal. Now, that is something you're going to have to figure out. It's a hell of a project right there. Is it going to work? Probably not between those 3.
No.
But at the end of the day, I think once Beal is done, which he's nearing the end, I actually think Book and Jalen Green can work out. I really do think they can. I think it's one of those, everyone's like, this isn't going to work out. Jalen Green, Devin Booker, that's just not going to happen. I think it can work out. I absolutely do think it can work out. I think it actually might work out.
What's working out for them, though? Playoffs?
Okay.
Okay.
And then you build on from that.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you also you get 5 second-round picks. You build off of that as well. I think that obviously gives them ammunition to go and, look at trades. Yeah. It gives them
De'Aaron Fox.
It gives them, exactly. Like
it gives them
things to. I'm gonna get to that. It gives them things to explore trades, but you also think about it, and you're like, you never know. One of these 5 second-round picks could turn into Nikola Jokic.
True.
We really have to start valuing second-round picks now because it's just what happens in the NBA. I think it's starting to happen now. We're getting these deep drafts and. There are going to be some second-round picks who turn into very good players in the league. So that's my thing. Now, where they lost, you absolutely need to get somebody between Alperen Sengun, Reed Shepherd, Cam Whitmore, Jabari Smith.
Yep.
I should have gotten at least Reed Shepherd.
Yep. You have to absolutely get one of those players in a trade for Kevin Durant. Absolutely. And you did bring up the first-round pick thing. You absolutely need to get at least 2 first-round picks for Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I don't care how old he is. He's still a top 10 player
100%.
when he's healthy.
They could have negotiated this deal a little bit better, but I think they were a little... I just think they were desperate. I mean, it wasn't working out with Kevin Durant. That wasn't going to be
because they gave away all their leverage.
Kevin Durant was not going to be a Phoenix Sun heading into the season
because they gave away all their leverage. They told the whole media they're like, we don't want him, so it's like everyone's going to give you less and less.
Also, KD didn't help them by going, I'm not going to Minnesota or Miami because they both gave better ones. But yes, you still have to use that as a negotiator.
But that's why I say you can't give the media that whole, well, we don't really want him. But then you just lowered the price for everybody.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, though, you absolutely need to get one of those players from Houston, and they didn't do it. And I think that's where they failed.
Hey, I think they should have gotten Cam Whitmore at least because when the Lakers were up, and that was when they had the 17th pick, and they could have drafted him, and they drafted Jalen Hood-Schifino, who's now in Utah or Sixers or wherever he's at.
I think he's the Lakers, right? Oh no, they traded him.
No, he's in Utah.
No, he's in
Utah.
No, I thought he played for Sixers this year.
No. That was Tony
Quentin Grimes.
Yeah, that was Quentin Grimes.
No, he also played for the Sixers. Search it up. He played for the Sixers.
Jalen Hood-Schifino.
Oh, he is on the Sixers.
Yeah, I just saw some tape on him.
Good job.
How the hell did he do that?
No, all right, cool.
Yeah, he just played. He's not. Yeah,
Damn.
I just saw him. He was
did not know that.
Most polarizing college player. By
That's
the way.
what I'm saying.
Well, I mean that speaks to
the draft pick.
The draft pick of Jalen.
Should have picked Cam Whitmore. But the point is, you're right. Yeah, they should have at least gotten one of those guys.
That's where I stand on Phoenix. I actually like the haul they got. They could have done better though.
It sounds like they went into those trade negotiations and the Rockets. Is Daryl Morey the Rockets GM right now or no?
No, he's with Sixers.
He's
Philly.
still with the. Oh Jesus, I'm so
Fertitta.
far.
It'd be Fertitta's the owner.
Yeah, but Phoenix clearly went into those negotiations, and the Rockets go, "Here's what's gonna happen. You're not gonna ask for Sengun, and you're not gonna ask for those 3 players." And Phoenix went, "Well, KD wants to go there, and we're gonna look like fools if we don't send him somewhere he doesn't want. So we'll compromise." Yeah. And Phoenix put themselves in that position. They turned Mikal Bridges and 4 first-round picks into.
I just.
I mean, look, it was years ago. And KD, I was going to say he's not the same player, but he virtually is. Mm-hmm. Again, can he stay healthy? That's the biggest thing. But no, I think Phoenix absolutely catapultized their organization.
Yeah, I know. I have a thing against owners that come in and immediately think they know better than everyone and start spending or just throw money at everything. It's like you don't know better than the people who've been working there, and it's their job. So that's why I didn't like it. And also just bad. I don't think James Jones is I think they hired someone else as their GM. They got rid of James Jones.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like whoever the new GM is, they kind of just did a terrible job. You don't tell everybody where he wants to go because then you limit his options. You don't tell people that we're going to get rid of him because then it lowers his market. If you see Desmond Bane go for 5 first-round picks, that means you should at least be getting Reed Shepherd and Cam Whitmore and 2 first with 4 second-round picks. And so it was a bad haul. But overall, Rockets A+. Listen, Jalen Green, I said this and I'll say this again. He's not ready. There's a reason why they got rid of him. They asked him to score 20-25 a game against the Warriors, and they couldn't do it. So so you're gone. That's how it works. It doesn't matter who drafted you. If you don't perform, you're gone. So But I also think Jalen Green will succeed in having a better career, I think, in Phoenix because he'll be able to develop. He won't have as much pressure on him. They're not going to tell him you're going to have to be the best scorer. It's not your franchise. All you have to do is just show up. And Phoenix is warm. It's a good city. They
got a golf tournament every February.
Right. You were just in Houston, so you should be fine. But
Yeah. No, I think that's a good way to end that trade. One more, Jrue Holiday for Anthony Simons. Jrue Holiday to Portland, Simons to Boston.
I mean, I hate the trade, but like Boston had to do it.
Yeah,
his cap hit was $34 million. So
Jrue Holiday.
Yeah,
I know. Like
everybody knew they were
$20 million above the second apron.
Didn't make any sense why you would keep him.
There's no point. I mean, he was 32, something like 32.
No, he's like 34.
No, he's 35. I'm saying the amount of money though. What was it? 34.
34, something like that.
Yeah, like that's not.
Because you got to think about it. When Tatum comes back, he's going to be 36. When Tatum comes back, he's going to be 36. Yeah. You're going to be paying him $30 million to not win next year. Exactly. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And as good as he is, his services are only needed on a team that's like actually competing for a championship.
Yeah,
he's not going to be a great player on a team that's just kind of floating in the water.
He got his rings already. He could just chill, enjoy himself, be a good vet to someone, sort of like a Mike Conley that actually won rings.
And I mean, you get Anthony Simons, you get 2 picks.
Yeah, 2 seconds.
And Anthony Simons, he's not bad. He's good. He can shoot from 3. He's a good scoring guard.
He's just insufficient on offense, and he can't play defense. But I mean,
there's a role for him though, and it's
the last year of his contract.
There's absolutely a role, especially with Tatum not.
Yeah, if he's good, and then Tatum comes back, then he could be a good number.
But it's the last year of his contract, I believe. So it's like
it is.
So you're not going to re-sign him. They're most likely not going to re-sign him. You get rid of an expensive contract, and you get 2 draft picks.
Yeah,
you get younger in the backcourt. I mean,
and you replace that guard position, so you at least have somebody.
No, it was. I hated to see that they had to do it. Is where I'm at, but
to Portland, they sent him to basketball hell.
Yeah, had to do it. I know.
You got nothing in Portland.
Yeah, I know.
Have fun with Scoot, but
they had to.
And DeAndre Ayton, who doesn't even care about the game anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, good.
But yeah, I mean, it just sucks though that they had to do that. But I mean, they still.
Portland should buy him out though.
Boston's not done. Like they still have to cut $18 million or something like
Portland will probably.
Yeah, there's still $18 million from the tax line.
Kristaps, get ready for a new home.
Yeah,
Kristaps is next.
Hey, Portland, now Jrue gets to play with my boy, Denny Avija. Yeah, go Jews.
You think they're gonna flip him or they're gonna just, no, not Avija.
Jrue?
Jrue? No, I think he'll stay.
Because they flipped him last time he got traded.
I know, that's what I was saying.
So I think they're gonna keep
the Blazers are really young and stuff.
To.
They could burn some money. I think that Drew's a good mentor to Shaedon Sharp and Avija.
Yeah. If I was
Jrue Holiday, get Aiden out of the house.
I want to jump off a building. I avoided the Blazers once, and now I'm gonna go back there.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
I don't know. We could with him in Portland, we could see Jrue Holiday 20-point per game scorer now.
Really, he could be the guy.
Like we could see Jrue Holiday.
They still have Jeremy Grant. Portland looks pretty good.
I think so.
AJ, I hope you're watching this. You're going to Portland.
Go trade for Dame again. Go get Dame again, and we have some talking.
Ooh. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't even want to talk about the McCollum trade. Honestly, let's just go to the 2026 season. Give me your favorite. Give me your dark horse, and give me a finals prediction.
Favorites, pretty easy.
Yeah, are we all saying the favorites are the Thunder?
It's obviously Oklahoma City Thunder, 100%. We don't even have to explain that. We just talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they're just reloading, so.
What's next? Dark horse?
Give me a dark horse on each side. I'll go first. Dark horse on the East is Detroit. I still think Detroit is going to go under the radar, and I think Cade's going to take another step, and they're going to get some pieces there. On the West side, I'm going to go with, I don't know even if you could call it a dark horse, but I'm going to go with Golden State with Steph and Jimmy if they get a legitimate big. Because I think if you look at other teams, they're just better than the Warriors right now. I mean, the Warriors were playing like Quentin Post, no disrespect to him. They need another piece, and it's still Steph and Jimmy.
Yeah.
Finals. Do you want me to get my finals prediction, or do you guys want to do dark horses first?
Do we want to do a finals prediction?
I do.
You do want to do it?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
So early.
It's just so early.
I know.
Overreaction.
The Thunder make it out of the West. I don't care who else is there. I think it'll be a Thunder-Lakers conference finals if you want me to go further. Out of the East. The New York Knicks finally do it.
That's why I wanted to do it.
I think the Knicks finally do it.
That's why I wanted to do a finals prediction.
East is wide open. I think this speaks more to the East being weak than the Knicks doing anything. And if the Knicks run it back and just have a new voice, I think they're the best team in the East right now. Go New York, go New York, go. Yeah, I just wanted to see the Knicks make the finals.
For my dark horse in the East, I'm gonna go Magic. We talked about them. I think
Orlando Magic.
yeah, I think they're so young and super underrated. Paolo's gonna take another jump. They just got Bane. I think they're gonna upgrade their offense and be a lot better. Who's their coach? Is Mosley?
Yeah, it's
Mosley. He's a good coach. And then for the West, I'm gonna go San Antonio. I mean, I think they take a jump. They get Harper. I think Wemby's been training with the monks. He's gonna lock in.
He's been training.
Yeah, dude.
With
Wemby like changed his religion. It's crazy.
No, Shaolin Wemby.
It's amazing what Texas does to someone.
No, you got Shaolin Wemby, and then Fox. We talked about. I think they're gonna be really good. They're gonna take a huge jump. Yeah, and I think they're gonna.
By the way,
I think they're gonna make the playoffs.
If Dylan ever shaves his head, I'm never rooting for him. Because Wemby shaving his head, why?
Oh, I mean, Wemby's been shaving his head back and forth.
That's a good point.
Pre-draft, didn't he shave his head or something like that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's a good one, though. I like that.
I think dark horse in the West.
That's honestly all we care about. The East, there's literally like 6 teams. That's it.
I don't even know who I'm gonna pick for the. I might go probably for East. I'll probably go Orlando. I'll agree with you, Toussaint. I'd say like either one, whatever. You said Detroit, and then you said Orlando. I think it's one of those. I think that's clear dark. Those are the 2 clear dark horses in the East. I'm gonna go with those. I'll say Orlando.
I'll give you one more dark horse as we shift into our draft segment. It's the Sixers. If they take Ace Bailey. But they're not going to take Ace Bailey. But and again, it's not going to happen. But if Embiid and Maxey stay healthy and you pair him with VJ Edgecombe, it looks like they're going to take.
If
the Sixers, I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
If Paul George throws away his podcasting equipment,
I don't hate that.
You know what? I'm actually going to switch mine to Philly. You just convinced me a little bit. Because I just thought about it. Quentin Grimes is a fucking dog.
He's nasty.
Quentin Grimes is nasty. And I think he's going to make that leap next year. For them.
And they already have a guard who could score 30.
They already have a guard in Tyrese Maxey who can score 30. They're going to get one of Ace Bailey or VJ Edgecombe.
Yeah.
Maybe not Ace Bailey.
We'll talk about it. But yeah, it's probably going to be Edgecombe, sadly.
Edgecombe. He's so athletic, though.
And then if Joel comes back fully healthy next season, that's just the biggest if right there.
If he's healthy for the postseason, if they make it, that's the biggest thing. Because Embiid, I get it, Embiid hasn't made a conference finals, but he's still Joel Embiid.
If he can get back to where he was.
Bro, he's turning into Brandon Roy right now.
If he can get back to where he was.
He's turning into Brandon Roy.
Who says
Greg Oden?
Who says Giannis puts on an infinity gauntlet and goes, fine, I'll do it myself. Giannis will go be doing that with, I don't even know who the Bucks have anymore.
The random bum off the street.
Yeah.
There's going to be his point guard.
There's no shot.
Giannis comes down to 303, goes, Hector, Rafi, Adrian, Rachel, you're up with me. We're going to win the East.
No shot. But I'm going to go Philly. If Joel can get it together, I'm going to go Philly. They're going to be nasty.
I like Philly.
And then in the West, I will say
the Pelicans. Not Flames.
Bro, but I will say they have
the Pelicans.
Bro, the Pelicans are not going to be terrible. But then again, Zion on Bourbon Street. We saw Blake on Bourbon Street for 2 days. Zion lives there.
Yeah, with Zion, we know he's going crazy over.
Exactly, dude. Bro, we saw London.
I don't want to do the same ones
Zion
I did though. Like that's.
Is this a grenade shot?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. You know what? Fuck it. No, I'm not saying that.
Say it.
You want to say the Hawks?
No, I was gonna say Dallas.
No.
I was gonna say Dallas. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, why are you mad about that? That's
I'm
good.
gonna say Dallas. Honestly, I'm gonna say Dallas. I think they get Kyrie back at least some point between.
They'll get him in February or something. Yeah.
I think they'll get him back before the playoffs. I probably like a little bit after All-Star break. They draft Cooper Flagg. I think Cooper Flagg is gonna instantly be a very good NBA player. Mm-hmm. He is complete.
He's already a complete two-way player.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a can't-miss guy.
Absolutely.
He's a can't-miss guy.
They got AD. They re-signed Gafford.
Yeah, they still have 7 bigs.
I think Lively's still signed.
Lively's still there. They don't even have to extend him next year.
They don't have to extend him.
Like the biggest piece is.
I like how Najee Marshall stepped up.
Yeah.
When they traded away Luka. Yeah, I'm gonna go Dallas.
That's a good pick.
That's a great pick. I mean,
I'm gonna go Dallas.
The state of Texas is gonna be interesting next year.
I like that. Yeah, that's a good point. Those three teams are all super fun.
Yeah, super interesting.
Yeah. I really like the Philly one too, and that's a good way to segment into the draft. Because the NBA draft is tomorrow/today, based on when this podcast gets published. Let's start with a pick you'd like to see, and I'm going to start us off. It's not going to happen, but I want Philly to take Ace Bailey. Put aside anything you hear about Ace Bailey. Yep. The guy is a premium scorer. I still think he could be the best player in this draft. The Sixers didn't work out Maxey or McCain, and it worked. Sixers need a big. Ace, or I meant not a big, need a wing that could score. Ace, if you really get him to lock in, and he will lock in with Paul George, the guy could score. He'll be a 20-point-per-game scorer. He was absolutely ridiculous. I would love to see him go to Philly. It's probably not going to happen, but I think if Philly got Ace Bailey, and you got Ace Bailey to lock in, I genuinely think they could win the East next year. But I'll give you one more if you really want, because, or actually, I'll leave it like that. I love you, Ace. Good luck tonight on your first pitch.
Are we talking about players that we want to see go somewhere specifically?
Yeah, sure.
That's a really tough one.
Or just give me anything. I sort of made the segment about me bitching about Ace.
Nah, you're good. I didn't know what it meant. I feel like there's a lot of raw talent in this draft. A lot of players that people don't really know about. I don't know if there's a certain player I want to go somewhere.
Who's a player that you are interested in, I guess, like, interested to see?
There's three players that I'm really interested to see. I'll say them, but I like Cedric Coward.
Ooh.
From Washington State. I saw some of his interviews. He has a high IQ.
Yeah. Thank you for not going to Duke, Cedric. Thank you. Duke didn't need another one. That was Zion James part 2.
He understands like the game, and he's super athletic. He also said he takes pride on defense. Like, he's the kind of guy that you really want coming out. He's about 6'7", 215. He's a senior, but he knows what he's doing. He's really good. I also really like Thomas Sorber, the freshman from Georgetown. Super athletic. 6'10", 260, real athletic, average like 17, nearly 10, nearly a double-double. And the last person I really like is Rasheer Fleming from St. Joseph's. Also, super athletic, two-way player. They say he's going to go to the Heat. I would love to see him go to the Heat and then develop. Rasheer Fleming going to the Heat, I'm going to go with him as a player I'd like to see go. But those three players are like the most interesting to me.
Yeah. Before you go, I'm gonna throw one more out there because I didn't realize that the Magic did have a first round pick. They have Denver. So I guess it was somehow that's how KCP got to Orlando. The Athletic has the Magic taking Walter Clayton Jr.
Yeah.
I would love that. The guy's a killer. The guy could do it all. You already got Paolo and Franz. Walter Clayton Jr.
stays in Florida.
At the combine, I feel like he did not miss. It's very crowded, but Walter Clayton Jr., he's a guy that conducts his own business. He's not a problem. He could do it all. He could be a perfect third option or even second option over Franz, and I fully believe that. And they need a ball handler. Then you move Jalen Suggs onto the bench, guy that gives you 25, 30 minutes with how good he is at defense. Orlando gets so much better.
That'd be so good if he was the starting point guard, then move Suggs to 2 rotation, and then that would be really good.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Wherever Danny Wolf goes, I'm just interested to see where he goes. I think he's going to be an absolute unicorn in this league.
This one they have the same going.
He's going to be insane.
He's about to be the best Jew in this league.
Huh?
About to be the best Jew in this league. I'm so excited, bro.
Danny Wolf.
Represent.
They have him going to the Timberwolves at 17. This one I'm looking at.
Danny Wolf.
Isn't bad.
Sorry.
Danny Wolf.
Which would actually be that'd be pretty nice. But yeah, wherever Danny Wolf goes, I'm interested to see that. And then also, one thing I'm interested in is Phoenix now has the 10th pick in the draft. So I'm interested to see what they do with that after that trade.
They said Derek Queen on this one.
Yeah, it says Derek Queen there. I mean, they do. It's going to be big.
On mine it says Colin Murray Boyles.
Colin Murray Boyles.
I don't think he'd get there, but Malu Watch would be awesome there.
I don't think he's a 10 pick.
I
don't think he's a 10 pick, but he is in that like 10 to
Murray
15.
Boyles.
Yeah. I don't know if he's a 10th pick, but he's in that 10 to 15.
This has the Suns taking.
They gotta get it.
This has the Suns taking right now too at 29 because they have a pick from Cleveland. Wouldn't hate that. Take 2 bigs, see which one works. I mean, your 4 best scorers right now are all shooting guards.
Yeah.
Right now, it isn't bad. I saw him at the combine.
He's like Chet. He's got to put on muscle.
I also want to see what Charlotte does too. I want to see if a trade goes down tomorrow night.
Oh my God, ace, bro.
Because I think there's
this draft I have says
high potential that a trade will go down within that top 5. Top 6.
I'm giving one more.
Go ahead.
And this is me being really selfish. The Nets, if he slips past 4, go trade up and get Ace Bailey. You have 4 picks. I think that's a great situation for him, all kidding aside. And I am a Nets fan, and I do know Ace, but I think that would just work.
You don't want Kasparis?
Podcast. If the Nets take one of Kasparis, Yakichonis, or Kaman Maluach, because I think Maluach will be a good player. I think Maluach will be a good player, but they have Nick Claxton. If they take either of those 2, I am quitting this podcast, and I'm putting Lunga here.
Hey, that was his trigger word.
That was a trigger for show.
Yeah, sorry. I had to take a little more thunder. I have to make things about my...
You know who I think is going to be interesting? Carter Bryant. Because we saw him in Arizona. He's really nice. Super athletic, 6'9", 6'10". Nice. But he's a not that he's a project, but like you're gonna have to really develop him.
He is a project.
Yeah, he's a project.
He called himself a project.
Yeah, he's a project. I mean, he wasn't like 12-7 as a freshman in Arizona is pretty good, especially when you had.
And he wasn't starting.
Yeah, especially when you had KJ and
KJ Bradley. You have Caleb Love. You had him coming off the bench, and there were some games where he didn't play at all. I like Carter Bryant too. I do. I'm trying to think of like who else in this draft. It really intrigues me. Is there anyone else? I've been stealing all your guys' thunder on
Jeremiah Fears. I think during the NCAA run, I figured out he was the second best like individual guard by himself, like pure talent. After Clayton, he was like pure talent, like was really nice.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that he played on Oklahoma because they didn't go far and they didn't really have any of their players, but he was nice. I mean, he's saucy. So they have him going to Pelicans, which Poole would be kind of a cool duo to watch. And Pelicans wouldn't be as boring. No offense, but I don't really think that CJ McCollum is a good watch anymore. So
valid. I'll give you one more draft tidbit that I want to hear you guys. We can keep this really short. It looks like it's gonna be Cooper Flag went to Dallas, and it looks like the Spurs are gonna take Dylan Harper. Which team is going to be better next year between Dallas and San Antonio if both are healthy?
San Antonio.
I think San Antonio.
Yeah, because you already have Wemby there for a few years. You got Castle there for a few years.
Fox. Offseason.
Yeah, and then you also got, I know Popovich is gone, but, you got the essence of Popovich. I like Mitch
Vassell. Kelvin Johnson, Vassell.
Yeah, Jeremy Sohan.
So, yeah.
I like them.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be better than Dallas. I just think their ceiling's much higher. I think Dallas has a higher floor.
Also, they're going to have to survive without Kyrie for a while.
Yes.
Yeah, Dallas has to figure that out without Kyrie.
Great point.
They absolutely have to figure that out without Kyrie, so it's going to be interesting.
Great point. Anything else for the draft, or is it time for Tweaker of the Week?
It's time for Tweaker of the Week.
All right.
Everyone's favorite segment, Tweaker of the Week.
I love how long this podcast is, too, because we had a little off.
Can I go first?
Of course you could go first.
All right. Now, this is to some people, because I've been waiting to say this. Number one goes to Jay. I guess it's a two-parter. One of them goes to Jay Will. I heard him say...
Really?
SGA is Kobe. Now. Now. I think SGA it can be an all-time great. I think he has a lot of things that resemble Kobe Bryant, but he ain't Kobe. Kobe, just because they're 6'6" guards and they're good at the mid-range does not mean they're Kobe. Kobe was going to rip your heart out and he didn't care. Yep. SGA just kills your hopes and dreams. He doesn't rip your heart out, but he does... piece by piece.
It's like Hinge versus Tinder.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. And so the thing is, his demeanor is not like Kobe's. The way he approaches the game is not like Kobe's. His mid-range is not like Kobe's. He's more of an east to west, change of pace type of mid-range scorer. Mm-hmm. Kobe was an explosive, shot fake, spin type of mid-range scorer. Kobe was actually, when Kobe went to the rim, he went straight at the rim. SGA doesn't go at the rim. He tries to go around players to get to spots. They're different players. Don't compare them. I get they're both 6'6" guards and they're both really good at the mid-range.
Yeah.
Just don't compare them. Stop. Let SGA come into his own greatness and leave Kobe be. Second thing I got to say, I saw people all over ESPN and FS1 talking about how Jalen Williams is Scottie Pippen. No, he's not. Scottie Pippen. I get that they're both 6'6", 6'7" guards who, good defensively. They can do a lot. They can fill up the score sheet.
Yep.
Scottie Pippen never had to score a whole lot of points because he had Michael Jordan, because they were a dynasty team, because of the way they're built. They are asking Jalen Williams to score the ball. They scored the second most points out of two teammates in a playoff run ever.
Yep.
Scottie Pippen never did that with Jordan because they didn't ask Scottie Pippen to do that. Scottie Pippen wasn't supposed to be a 30-point per game scorer. He averaged maybe 20. And every single finals he ever played, he averaged 20 points in almost every single one of them. 15 in like 2 of them. Yep. Most of them were 20. They're not alike. I get that they're both great defensively. They're the same height. They come from small colleges. Respectfully, they're not the same. Stop comparing greats to people who are just let SGA make his own greatness. Stop comparing him to Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace. Stop comparing him to Scottie Pippen. He ain't Scottie Pippen, right? Mm-hmm. And it's not to say that one is better than the other, but Scottie Pippen, they don't have the same game style. So, like, Scottie Pippen never dropped 40 in the finals, and he played in 6 series. So stop it.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say, man.
You go ahead.
I'll stay on theme here. I think that the NBA GMs that pass on Ace are going to regret it for a while. I think the guy is going to be an absolute stud. You could put apart everything. Well, I mean, like, look, I have the connections to Rutgers, honestly. The guy could score. If you get him to lock in, I think he's going to be a star in this league. And I think if you're Philly, you should take him. If you're Charlotte, you should take him. And if not, I think the team that moves up for him is going to look really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a big overreaction about him skipping workouts. And there are reasons behind that, but I think he's going to be good. So I just think if a team decides we're not going to take him because of that. So, yeah.
Will Dawkins, Washington Wizards GM. What the fuck are you doing? CJ McCollum in Washington? Yeah. Like, you needed a whole restart. You just got a 34-year-old CJ McCollum.
Have you seen the meme with the water jug and the tape? He's the tape. Like,
yeah.
Chris Middleton just exercised his player option for $30 million, so they got a bunch of scrub vets.
It's bad in Washington. But yeah, that's all we have time for today. As always, like, subscribe, comment, run up the TikTok, run up all of our socials, and I think just comment.
Draft prediction.
What do you want to see in the NBA draft? As always, stay fly.